Playing at Georgia was awesome. I actually, growing up a Florida boy from Tampa, Florida, didn't know much about Georgia, the tradition, the love, being in Sanford Stadium, all that kind of stuff. My first game I watched was actually the Sugar Bowl, Hawaii playing Georgia. I think it was 2008. And I was actually rooting for Hawaii. I knew Colt Brennan, the quarterback for Hawaii. So rooting for them, and all of a sudden Georgia comes out, they're black unis, they kick some butt that game, and I was like, man, this team's pretty legit. They look pretty good. They had that Matthew Stafford at quarterback throwing the ball over the place. So I started to look at Georgia. I took a visit up there, and immediately I fell in love with the campus. I fell in love with the coaching staff, and made my decision pretty quickly. And it was definitely the right decision. I enjoyed my entire 5 years there. It was a blast, and couldn't have asked for a better college experience. My favorite tradition at Georgia would be the dog walk. It's a special moment when you get off the bus. Usually we're in the bus, we're having fun, we're kind of rocking it back and forth, so it's a great time in there, everyone's getting juiced. And then you're walking in between just thousands of fans, just going crazy, little kids giving you high fives, and then at the end of the dog walk you get to your parents, and it's always a fun time for me. My family, we're extremely close. So to see them before walking to the stadium, to get a hug, to get a kiss from mom and dad and my brother and sister, and then to walk into that stadium, it's just a beautiful place to play some football. It was crazy game day atmosphere. The locker room's kind of going crazy. You guys are blasting music, dancing, having fun, just trying to stay loose. You know, a lot of guys are a little tight, a little tense. So as a leader of the team, you kind of want everyone to kind of relax, let their personality show a little bit. And then once you get to the stadium, you're driving through campus and you see people tailgating, playing beer pong. It's just one of those teams that you look around and you're like, wow, this is gorgeous, it's huge, it's intimidating. And then when you get the sea of red and black in there during the game and they're getting loud on third down, for our defense, when the defense is out there, it's third down, they're screaming their heads off, they're jumping up and down. It almost feels like the stadium's about to fall and collapse on itself. The fans make it though. It's a great building to look at, it's a great stadium to look at, but it wouldn't be anything without the fans in there to kind of cheer us on. My favorite moment dealing with fans when I was at Georgia was our win versus LSU. It was a battle, it was back and forth all day long. They had the lead, we had the lead. We ended up scoring a touchdown with probably about a minute to go to take the lead. And then we stopped them on 4 downs, and the place was going crazy, we're going crazy, and after the game, we went in the locker room, and we're celebrating, cheering, and we could still hear the fans out in the stadium. They didn't leave. So as a team, we actually ran back on the field, and it's still packed. I mean, the game's been over for 20, 30 minutes, and no one wanted to leave. It was that fun of a game, it was that exciting, that much energy, so we kind of just stayed out with the fans for another 10, 15 minutes, just running around the field, giving high fives, signing autographs, just being with everyone, and that was a special moment, I think, for the fans and for us as a team. Playing at Jacksonville was a lot of fun. When you walk into the stadium, it's just really cool because it's split right down the middle. You got this side's all red and black, you got this side that's that ugly orange and blue, so it's awesome. It literally is 50-50, and there's no better feeling than in the fourth quarter when you're winning, and all of a sudden that ugly side is somehow started to disappear, but the red and black looks pretty damn good. It looks great over there. So it's a great place, great tradition. And luckily for me, we were 3-1 when we played there, so a lot of great memories. You just don't like anything about Georgia Tech. The first thing, I hate their offense. I think it's a high school type offense. It's gimmicky, so it just drives you nuts that our defense has to prepare for that offense all week. So it's just kind of like, really, let's run a more of a pro style offense. So kind of nonsense over there, and they're just a bunch of nerds. So you just don't like them. There's just a lot not to like. But we were 4-0 when I was there, so we had a lot of good beatdowns when we got to play Georgia Tech. A typical Georgia Tech fan, someone with short shorts, glasses, and they don't know what 1st and 10 means. The game that I've tried to get out of my mind for the past 3 years would be the SEC championship game versus Alabama. We were up heading the fourth quarter, we're up by 11 points. They end up coming back, taking the lead, and we're driving down, 2-minute drill. It's going great, we're moving the ball, get down to about the 8-yard line, and unfortunately we had a tip pass, hits Chris Conley right in the chest, nothing much he could do, he falls down, And I just felt like everything just went to slow motion. I'm just looking at the clock and it's ticking 7, 6, 5, and you're just, in your heart, like, how can this stop? What can we do to make it stop? And there's nothing you can do. And it was probably the longest 8 seconds of my life. And then obviously it goes down to 0. It was probably the most competitive SEC game we've seen in a long time. It made it fun to be a part of. Obviously, I wish I was on the other side. I wouldn't have so many nightmares, but it is a game that I'll probably be asked questions about the rest of my life. I would tell a freshman that to enjoy it. It really is a special place, and to really engage with the fans and to engage with the community. It's something that I took advantage of, and it's paid off for me greatly right now of getting out there, joining groups on campus, joining groups in the community, whether it's nonprofits, things like that. Just give back, because you really are blessed to play for the University of Georgia. It's an unbelievable opportunity, and the best thing you can do to show how much you appreciate it is, one, go work your tail off in the classroom, on the football field, but also give back any way you can. So just join as many organizations, get to know people, get to know business people in Atlanta, because there's not a lot of campuses that you have an opportunity to be an hour and 15 minutes away from a major US city. So take advantage of that, because whether you make the NFL or don't make the NFL, you can start building relationships now that's going to benefit you down the road. Playing at Auburn, it's very similar to Athens. I think the stadiums have a very similar feel. It's another just big SEC stadium, and the fans, they get there early. They're loud, they're screaming at you, they're giving you some crazy names and pregame warm-ups, which is kind of funny to hear. But they keep the juice up all day long. All game long they're there, they're loud, just like the majority of SEC teams you play, maybe besides Vanderbilt, which is like playing at a high school stadium. I remember my freshman year, someone actually, because I'm not the biggest quarterback in the world, I'm a shade over 6 foot, so most quarterbacks people are used to seeing 6'3" and above. So I was running out of the tunnel, and someone just starts screaming, "Hey kicker, you're gonna have an awful game today." I'm like, I'm not the kicker, I know I'm small, but I'm actually the quarterback, but thank you. So that was kind of funny to hear that. I've heard that a few times, not only at college, but the NFL, just because I said I'm not the biggest quarterback in the world. The toughest thing, anytime you jump, whether it's from high school to college or college to pro, the speed of the game continues to get faster and faster. How complex a defense gets, how complex your offense gets. You know, high school kid, the playbook's this big, college it's this big, pro it's this big. So it just gets harder and harder and harder. They expect you to have more time in your day to be more mature enough to handle yourself and schedule your day accordingly to when I have to go to class, when do I need to study, when do I need to practice. So there's a lot put on your plate, especially the quarterback position. I'd be in the office at 11 till probably about 7 o'clock at night. So when most players on Sunday are relaxing, hanging out, watching NFL games, I'm in there watching film all day. And the same thing for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's wake up early, watch film before class, go to practice, stay after, watch film, go to bed, or do a little bit of homework, go to bed. So it's a full-time gig. It's 7 days a week during the season. My biggest welcome to college football moment would have to be my freshman year versus Auburn. They had Nick Fairley at defensive tackle, and he put about 8 stitches in my chin. He fractured my sternum. It was one of those moments like, man, you're playing against some grown men. Like, these dudes are coming in 320 pounds and they want to kill you. It was first series, he kind of unnecessarily put his helmet and his face guard into my chin and kind of scraped it up. So I remember I'm in the huddle and everyone's just kind of staring at me wide-eyed. And then the ref kind of came up to me in between series. He said, "Hey, Aaron, you need to change your jersey." And I looked down and my jersey's completely covered in blood. Later in the game, he came right up the middle. He put his helmet right on my chest, lifted me, and drove me right in the ground. And I could just felt my entire chest cave in. I played the rest of the game, but I couldn't feel the entire left side of my body. It was one of those moments where, welcome to SEC, and also, do you want to keep playing football?